Silent Hill 3 was released by Konami on May 23, 2003, and it is a masterpiece of survival horror, blending psychological terror with visceral gore. Here are 20 amazing facts about its development, lore, and hidden secrets. This is Silent Hill 3. Number 1. Heather Mason. The daughter of Harry Mason, she is the third incarnation of the same soul following Alessa Gillespie and Cheryl Mason from the original Silent Hill. After the events of the first game, Harry Mason raised her in hiding from the cult known as the Order. To keep her safe, he dyed her hair blonde and changed her name from Cheryl to Heather. She suffers from spectrophobia, fear of mirrors, feeling that her reflection is an imitator from another world, and pyrophobia, fear of fire, a subconscious leftover from Alessa being burned in a ritual. Number 2. Douglas Cartland. Douglas was originally hired by Claudia Wolf to find Heather and Harry Mason. Claudia manipulated him by claiming that Harry had kidnapped Heather. After witnessing the horrific death of Harry Mason and realizing the cult's true malevolence, Douglas turns against them to protect Heather. As the game progresses, he and Heather form an unlikely bond. He admits that Heather reminds him of his own son, who was killed while attempting to rob a bank. Richard Gross, his original voice actor, passed away shortly before the game's release. A memorial note in Silent Hill Homecoming later reveals that Douglas successfully exposed the cult to the authorities after the game's events. Number 3. Claudia Wolf. Claudia suffered from a horrible and abusive childhood at the hands of her father, Leonard Wolf, who beat her to enforce religious devotion. She was childhood friends with Alessa Gillespie, Heather's past self, whom she loved like a sister. She believes her mission is what Alessa would have wanted, a world free of the pain they both endured. Unlike many villains, Claudia does not consider herself good. She admits she is a sinner for the murder she orchestrated, including Harry Mason's, and believes she will be unworthy of entering the paradise she is creating. Number 4. Vincent Smith. Vincent Smith is a high-ranking priest of the Order in Silent Hill 3, known for his manipulative nature and hedonistic outlook. Unlike the fanatical Claudia, Vincent is grounded in the pleasures of this world and opposes the birth of the gods simply because an apocalypse would be inconvenient for his comfortable lifestyle. He is responsible for the Order's financial stability, though he is heavily implied to have embezzled church funds for personal gain. He also has one of my favorite lines in the series.
Don't stand there looking so smug. You're the worst person in this room. You come here and enjoy spilling their blood. And listening to them cry out. You feel excited when you step on them and snuff out their lives.
Are you talking about the monsters?
Monsters? They look like monsters to you?
Oh no.
Don't worry. It's just a joke.
Number 5. Stanley Coleman. Stanley Coleman is a minor but deeply unsettling character in Silent Hill 3. He is an unseen stalker who tracks Heather Mason through Brookhaven Hospital, communicating solely through a series of disturbing diary events. A patient in room S07 suffering from obsessive love disorder. His medical records describe him as a passive, cowardly, and egotistic, though his obsession has led to violent incidents in the past. Stanley leaves 9 notes for Heather across the hospital. Each note is accompanied by a doll that he considers a gift to his most sacred lover. Finding these notes is optional, but many fans consider him one of the scariest parts of the game due to his omnipresence and unhinged tone. Number 6. Borley Haunted Mansion. The Borley Haunted Mansion is a horror attraction located within the Lakeside Amusement Park in Silent Hill 3. While it initially appears to be a cheesy, low-budget theme park ride, the influence of the Otherworld makes its traps and narration genuinely lethal. Throughout the mansion, a narrator provides a campy, scripted commentary about murders and ghosts. However, his tone shifts to becoming specifically threatening towards Heather as she progresses. In the third room, the narrator points out a fake hanging corpse of a man named Danny. Upon inspection, Heather realizes the body is real, suggesting Danny was a previous victim of the town. One room features a ceiling studded with metal spikes that drops towards Heather. On hard action level, the player must hold the right trigger button to duck to avoid instant death. The final two rooms are long, winding hallways where Heather is chased by a deadly, glowing red light. If the light touches her, she dies instantly. The name and concept are a direct reference to the Borley Rectory, once famously known as the most haunted house in England. Number 7. Valtiel. Valtiel is a high-ranking governing angel in the religion of the Order who serves as the attendant of God. His name combines the French word valet with the angelic suffix el. Unlike the aggressive monsters Heather encounters, Valtiel is a passive observer whose primary role is to safeguard the god growing within her. If Heather dies, Valtiel appears in a special game over screen to drag her body away for resurrection, ensuring the cult's deity is eventually born. He is often seen turning valves in the background. This symbolizes his control over the cycle of rebirth and his role in shifting the environment from the fog world to the hellish otherworld. He has the seal of Metatron tattooed on both shoulders, marking his status as an agent of the deity. He is considered the being closest to God and is venerated by the sect of Valtiel, one of the cult's core subgroups. Number 8. Harry Mason. The star of the original game returns in a supporting role, acting more as a catalyst to the plot. For 17 years, Harry lived in hiding to protect Heather from the cult. He took extreme measures to keep her safe, including changing her name from Cheryl to Heather and dyeing her hair blonde. Harry is murdered early in the game by a monster called the Missionary, acting under the orders of Claudia Wolf. Claudia orchestrates his death to fill Heather's heart with the hatred and sorrow necessary to nourish the dark god growing inside of her. Before his death, Harry left behind a post-mortem notebook for Heather, which Douglas gives to her during their car ride to Silent Hill. This notebook explains the events of the first game and reveals her true origin as the reincarnation of Alessa Gillespie. Number 9. Silent Hill 2 Save File. If you have a completed Silent Hill 2 save file on your memory card, Silent Hill 3 unlocks a couple of specific meta Easter eggs that reference James Sunderland's journey. In the alternate shopping mall, Heather finds a clogged toilet. If you interact with it, she reaches towards the bowl, but stops, looks at the camera, and asks, "Who would even think of doing something so disgusting?" This mocks James, who famously reached into a filthy toilet to find a clue in the previous game. When checking the mailboxes at the Daisy Villa apartments, Heather notes that she isn't expecting a letter, especially not from a dead wife, a direct nod to the premise of Silent Hill 2. Number 10. Lakeside Amusement Mascots. In Silent Hill 3, the Lakeside Amusement Park features 4 mascots that were intended to be cheerful icons but are presented as unsettling, lifeless figures in the other world. Robbie the Rabbit, the most famous mascot and an icon of the franchise. He is a pink rabbit in green overalls, often seen slumped over on benches or floors throughout the park like a discarded corpse. His mouth is frequently stained with what the game ironically describes as ketchup. Kathy the Kitty, a white cat mascot who is primarily seen on posters and promotional flyers scattered around the park. Huey the Horse, a horse mascot whose likeness is found on the park's carousel. The carousel horses are depicted as living, skinned, and deteriorating versions of Huey that Heather must defeat to progress. Dawn the Duck, the 4th mascot also appearing on posters and park information alongside the other 3. Number 11. Silent Hill 2 Assets. To save time and budget during its rushed 9-month development, Silent Hill 3 significantly reuses assets from its predecessor, Silent Hill 2. Heather explores the streets of South Vale just like James Sunderland did, including the path from Jack's Inn to the hospital. The entirety of Brookhaven Hospital layout is pulled from the second game. While the developers added new rooms and updated the lighting, the general structure and many hallway assets are identical. The Heaven's Night strip club is largely the same, even featuring a poster for the return of Lady Maria. James Sunderland's model was used as the basis for Harry Mason's corpse. Number 12. Jacob's Ladder references. Silent Hill 3, and the entire series by extension, is heavily indebted to the 1990 film Jacob's Ladder, which inspired the franchise's signature unreliable reality and twitching monster designs. The Hazel Street subway station sequence is a direct homage to the film's subway scene. Heather finds herself trapped on a deserted subway platform where a sense of claustrophobia and impending doom mimics Jacob's own nightmare. In an incredibly specific nod, you can find a Bergen Street station sign in the subway. Bergen Street is the real-world station in Brooklyn where Jacob's journey into the hellish version of New York begins. Number 13. Vocal music tracks. The soundtrack for Silent Hill 3 was a massive turning point for the series, as it introduced vocal tracks for the first time. The soul of the soundtrack is Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, originally credited as Melissa Williamson. Yamaoka searched extensively for a voice that sounded mature, soulful, and honestly human. Her collaboration with the series became so iconic that she remained the primary vocalist for almost every subsequent game. Most of the lyrics were written by Joe Ramirza. While the songs sound like standard alternative rock, the lyrics are deeply intertwined with the plot. For example, You're Not Here captures the void left by Harry's absence, while Letter from the Lost Days touches on the invitation back to the town. Yamaoka performed all of the guitar work for these tracks himself, favoring a distorted yet clean tone. Number 14. Endings. In Silent Hill 3, the endings reflect Heather's internal struggle between her identity as a teenager and her dark legacy as the vessel for a cult's deity. There are 3 primary endings, with one being a joke ending. The good ending is the only one available on a first playthrough. After defeating the final boss, the other world fades away, and Heather returns to the lakeside amusement park to find a wounded Douglas. Heather initially pranks Douglas by pretending she is still possessed, but then smiles and tells him that she was just joking. The possessed ending is only available in a New Game Plus. It is triggered by accumulating 4,000 points through violent or hateful actions. You must kill over 100 enemies, take at least 1,000 points of damage, and forgive the woman in the church confession booth, which awards 1,000 points towards the total. Finally, there's the joke ending, the UFO ending. A series staple, this ending is unlocked in a replay game by fulfilling specific combat requirements. You must obtain the Heather Beam, secret weapon, and use it to kill at least 30 monsters before reaching Harry's apartment. Number 15. Costumes. After completing Silent Hill 3 at least once, you unlock an extra costume menu on the title screen where you can input case-sensitive passwords to unlock new outfits for Heather. Select extra costume from the main menu and use the typewriter interface to enter a specific code. The unlocked costumes will appear in your items inventory automatically when you start up your next playthrough. Equip a costume from the inventory at any time during gameplay to change into it. Konami also partnered with major publications for exclusive promotional shirts. The only way to get these codes originally was by purchasing the physical magazine. Number 16. Heather's true age. One of the most cryptic and disturbing moments in the game occurs in the otherworld Brookhaven Hospital, where Heather answers a ringing phone that isn't connected to anything. An unidentified man sings happy birthday to her, but he gets her age and identity intentionally wrong to taunt her. The caller first wishes her a happy 31st birthday, then abruptly changes it to her 24th birthday. Heather notes a birthday card in the hospital that references a 38th birthday. She ponders the math. 14 plus 7 plus 17 equals 38. This represents the combined ages of her past incarnations. 14 was Alessa Gillespie's age at the end of the first game. 7 was Cheryl Mason's age in the first game. 17 is Heather's current physical age. Number 17. Intro Nightmare. The game begins with a playable nightmare that serves as both a tutorial and a grim foreshadowing of Heather's fate. Heather awakens in the Lakeside Amusement Park, but it is consumed by the other world, rusted, blood-stained, and swarming with monsters. You are tasked with navigating a linear path through the park past the souvenir shops and the mountain coaster, while the sounds of distant, distorted carnival music plays. The sequence ends when Heather reaches the tracks of the roller coaster. She walks along the high-altitude rails, a car suddenly zooms towards her, and there is no way to avoid the crash. Heather is struck and killed by the coaster. On subsequent playthroughs, you can actually skip the nightmare sequence entirely if you wish to jump straight to the mall by either letting the enemies kill Heather or jumping off the edge of a platform. Number 18. Leonard Wolf. Leonard Wolf is a high-ranking member of the Order and the fanatical, abusive father of the game's main antagonist, Claudia Wolf. He serves as a boss and a primary source of lore regarding the cult's extreme factions. Leonard raised Claudia with extreme physical and emotional cruelty, often beating her for perceived blasphemies or wavering faith. While both are members of the Order, Leonard despises Claudia's vision of a universal paradise. He believes that only a chosen few faithful should be saved, while all others, the unnecessary people, deserve to perish. Leonard was committed to Brookhaven Hospital after stabbing a man in a religious dispute. He was notorious for attempting to force his radical religious beliefs onto the hospital staff. When Heather finally encounters him in the hospital's flooded basement, he discovers she is an unbeliever. Enraged by her heresy, he reveals his true self, or at least how Heather perceives him, as a horrific monster. Number 19. Environmental Horror. Silent Hill 3 utilizes a collection of one-time scares that are designed to play with the gamer's expectations and prey on their fears. In Hilltop Center's storefront posables, there is a room filled with mannequins. If you walk to the back of the room and then turn to leave, you will hear a blood-curdling scream. Returning to the front reveals that one of the mannequins has been decapitated and is now bleeding. In the subway, if you read a specific newspaper about a man hit by a train and then an occult magazine, a ghost will push Heather onto the tracks when she stands near the edge. You must climb back up immediately to avoid being killed by an oncoming train. In the Otherworld Brookhaven Hospital, there is a large mirror in a third-floor storeroom. If you stay too long, black tendrils will crawl out of the reflection and into the real room, eventually covering Heather and killing her if you don't escape. This is often cited as the manifestation of Heather's spectrophobia, fear of mirrors. Number 20. Silent Hill 4 Foreshadowing. A diary found in the Brookhaven Hospital was written by Joseph Schreiber, an important character in Silent Hill 4 The Room. He writes about an orphanage in Silent Hill, Hope House, which would become a central location in the next game. Behind closed doors, the orphanage was a facility where children were kidnapped, brainwashed, and indoctrinated into the cult's extreme religious beliefs. This location is where major characters like Claudia Wolf and Silent Hill 4's antagonist Walter Sullivan were raised and subjected to the cult's rituals.
Thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you liked this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.